Grow plants twice as big with Miracle-Gro all-purpose water-soluble plant food, the easiest way to grow bigger, more beautiful plants. This all-purpose plant food starts feeding instantly and is ideal for all plants, indoor and outdoor, and in all soil types. To use with a watering can, mix 1 tablespoon of plant food for every gallon of water. For larger gardens, use the Miracle-Gro garden feeder. With trigger lock for one-handed feeding and 3 spray patterns, beautifying your landscape has never been easier. For indoor plants, mix half a teaspoon per gallon of water. And for spectacular results, feed every 7 to 14 days. Miracle-Gro water-soluble all-purpose plant food instantly feeds to grow bigger, more beautiful plants.
Here's how to apply BioAdvanced All-in-One Rose and Flower Care Concentrate. All-in-One Rose and Flower Care can be applied to all types of flowers, including rose bushes, flowering shrubs, and flowers in beds. Let's start with rose bushes. Measure 2 ounces per plant. Pour in a bucket and add 1 quart of water. Pull back mulch and pour around the base of the rose bush. For flowering shrubs like azaleas and rhododendrons, first measure plant height in feet. Then measure 1 ounce per foot, add 1 quart of water, and pour. For flower beds, measure the square footage using length times width. 2 ounces treats 12 square feet, but this time add 2 gallons of water to your bucket. Pour throughout the flower bed, avoiding the leaves. Apply it every 6 weeks, and remember, there's no spraying, so application is easy. You get 3 products in 1: fertilizer, insect control, and disease control.
We all have busy lives, and sometimes our plants can get a little neglected. When it comes to feeding, we need a fast and easy solution. Miracle-Gro watering can singles all-purpose plant food is perfect for all of your plants, in ground or in containers. The pre-measured packets are a quick, no-mess way to feed. Just tear open your packet, pour into your watering can, add water. Now you are ready to feed and water. No mixing, and did I mention, no mess. Use 1 packet per 1 gallon of your water for in-ground and outdoor container plants. 1 packet feeds up to 10 square feet. For indoor container plants, use 1 packet in 2 gallons of water. For spectacular results, feed every 7 to 14 days, anytime during the growing season. Slow-growing plants can be fed less often. Here's a tip to help you remember to feed. I like to use a small clay pot to display my singles right near my plants. With a permanent marker, I write the dates I need to feed on each packet so I don't lose track. When I get down to 1 or 2 left in the pot, it's a good reminder to buy more. Miracle-Gro watering can singles, the fast way to grow bigger, more beautiful plants.
Beautiful, fragrant roses. They are a wonderful addition to any garden, but they also have the reputation of being a little difficult to grow. They're actually a very hardy plant, and with a few tips, you can be a successful rose gardener too. To start them off right, use Miracle-Gro garden soil for roses to improve existing soil and to build strong roots. It contains plant food and bone meal to help provide a great start to those big, beautiful blooms. To prepare a large area for planting, mix native soil and Miracle-Gro garden soil for roses at a 50-50 ratio. To plant an individual rose bush, dig a hole twice as wide as the container. Next, mix in the garden soil with the native soil that you remove from the hole at about a 50-50 ratio, and then backfill around your new plant. This will allow roots to expand more easily for that vigorous growth. About a month after planting, start a regular feeding program to keep them growing vigorously. Miracle-Gro offers 2 great types of plant food specially formulated for roses. Pick the one that best suits your gardening style. Miracle-Gro water-soluble rose plant food starts working instantly. Use every 7 to 14 days with the Miracle-Gro garden feeder or with a watering can. Shake and Feed Rose and Bloom is a continuous release plant food that feeds up to 3 months and takes only minutes to apply. So simple to use. Just shake evenly onto the soil with approximately 1 tablespoon per square foot. Work it into the top 1 to 3 inches of soil, and then water thoroughly to start the feeding process. Reapply every 3 months for a beautiful garden all season long. You can grow roses, and Miracle-Gro can help.
are another plant that really like to have a specialty soil. So I'm going to plant this in ground in my garden, but I'm going to amend the soil with some specialty rose and flower soil, so that way it'll get the nutrients that it needs. And I'll also use a little bit of fertilizer that is also formulated for flowers and roses. So the first thing that you'll want to do is to find a place in your garden that you want to start your rose garden. And roses generally like at least 6 hours of full sun a day. Now I happen to be standing in the shade, but this part of my garden does get a lot of sun in the afternoon. So this is where we're going to plant it. The next thing you want to do is to dig a hole that's as deep as the root ball and a little bit wider. You can go up to twice as wide. I don't think you need to go quite that wide, but you can go up to twice as wide, but at least as deep as the root ball. And so I've pre-dug my hole here, and I've got my beautiful Eden rose here. Or actually, this one's called Ebb Tide. There should be, I think there is a rose called Eden, but we're going to do Ebb Tide today. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rose out of the nursery pot here. And sometimes they get a little bit stuck. You got to be careful with your thorns. Grab it by the base, and you just kind of want to ease it out. There we go. And you'll see it's already, the root ball's already starting to come apart a little bit here. And then you want to set it in your hole here and see how that fits. If you ended up digging your hole a little too deep, you can take some of the planting mix, the rose planting mix, and put a little mound underneath your rose to kind of push it up a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do before I actually put the soil in and get it watered is I'm going to turn the plant just so we've got a nice shape facing forward in the bed, and then that way you'll be able to see the roses. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the rose and flower fertilizer, and this gives it a little extra boost for nice blooms. A little bit of that in there. And you can also use a liquid fertilizer when you're fertilizing your roses. This one actually hooks to the hose, and you can fertilize that way. I put some of my rose soil in the bucket here to make it a little easier, and I'm going to get that around there. And you want to backfill in, but the top of the root ball should be level with the top of the soil, so you don't want to mound it up around the bottom of it. And get that all nice and patted down there. The soil is going to settle as you water it, and that's going to give you a little well to add water. Roses need nice deep watering, so it's important that you set up a watering schedule where you're going to water it so that it's deep. If you're not sure whether it needs water, do the finger test, and you stick your finger in the ground, and if it feels moist, you're good. If it feels dry and crumbly, then you'll want to add some water to it. And then the last thing we're going to do is water the rose in. So I have my trusty watering can here, which you can use your hose. You can also set up a drip line to your rose bush. And I want to get a nice good soaking all the way around the hole and get the root ball nice and soaked. So I'm going to use about half of this 3-gallon watering can. And what you can do is you can, as you see the water come to the surface, stop for a moment or two, let the water soak in, and then water again one more time.